Howdy! How's everybody out there in YouTube land today? I hope this finds you well. It's time for another exciting episode of And That's When the Fight Started. I tell you what, I've got so many of these stories. You're going to love hearing every one of them. One thing we got to do before we get started, and that's more cowbell! Now that we got you woke up, got your attention, here's the story. Years ago, I used to raise bulldogs and show them, and I had several there at the house, and it was good exercise to go out and walk the dogs every day. I'd walk one at a time. Lived in town, walked up and down the street with the dog, and I had this one little dog. I loved her dearly. Little female, and she looked exactly like the Tasmanian devil from the cartoon. She had a big old head, and she was a red brindle, and her shoulders were about a foot across, but her little hind end was only about 6 inches across, so she had a little compact body and absolutely no neck. And when she would be walking or moving of any kind, she would snort like that Tasmanian devil. And I'd walk her up and down the street, and it was the funniest thing you ever seen. And it was hard for me to keep from laughing as I'm walking down the street with that poor little dog. She's giving it all she's got, buddy, going up and down that street. And one day I was out there walking her up and down the street, getting her some exercise, and there was this fella that was riding on a pink bicycle, and I mean pink. It was so pink it hurt your eyes. It was one of them neon pink bicycles. And I saw him. I didn't pay much attention to him, He was riding on the other side of the street, leaving us alone, and I was leaving him alone, and me and my little dogs out there snorting up and down the street, and all of a sudden he pulls up next to us on that pink bicycle, and he says, "Hey, lady." And I said, "What?" He says, "I had to tell you that I think that is about the ugliest dog that I've ever seen in my life." And I just looked over at him, looked down at the dog, looked over at him, and I said, "That's amazing you'd say that." And he says, "Why? What makes you say that?" And I said, "Because she was just telling me that you're about the ugliest guy on the ugliest bicycle that she ever saw in her life." And that's when the fight started. I can't make this stuff up.